Everybody, welcome back to the weekly live stream. We do these every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, and your altcoin requests. Yes? So, how's everybody doing? Let's pop that in the chats. How's your day? What's going on? How's it hanging? While I wait to hear back from that, what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and start to break down Bitcoin. If you guys have any questions over the charts while we're going through things, I want you to just pop them in the chat. Don't hesitate. So let's talk about our bearish routes that we might be taking to the downside and their areas of support and what we could be looking forward to coming up here in the near future. All right, just so that you can understand where price is coming from, to see where it possibly might be going. This is our first bearish scenario, or bear scenario 1. In this scenario, the bears are looking for a 5-wave motion to the downside to finish. And we have possibly not finished the wave 5 of wave 5. The reason I laugh is because I will show you it becomes very low probability when your wave 2 and your wave 4 are so extravagantly different, especially even more so if this wave 2 is 6 times smaller than this wave 4, right? That's a huge difference in time there. So this is one of the scenarios that I don't want to really lean into. It's lower probability at this point. But the main scenario that I'm looking for, if we are to continue the bear market to the downside, we would be looking for 3 waves here in W, 3 waves in X, and 3 waves within Y. That would explain this long drawn out correction. In that scenario, the most common support leg of Y is taken from 0 to W to X to predict Y to a 1 through 1.236. So our target box for the supports start at $56,181 and go down to $47,307. We have confluence of supports here with our individual leg taken on this motion, looking for around a 1-to-1 or even a shy of a 1-to-1 to get us into this target box. So overall, I think that this would be my leading bearish scenario for Bitcoin, would be the possibility of an unfinished WXY to the downside. Yes. Another scenario that I really want to be open to would be that possibly we saw a reversal off of the low. In that case, though they are super rare, and also the other portion is this internal count looks quite impulsive to the downside in that 4. Those two things do put me off of this count, but let's go ahead and look into this and see how this leg to the downside would be constructed. A leading diagonal is low probability, but it doesn't mean that they don't happen. Yes, usually what we see after a leading diagonal is a support down to around the 786 retracement and then a strong motion to the upside. In this scenario, this would likely just be a corrective 3-swing move towards the upside. The reason we say that is because when we look at the macro counts for Bitcoin and we take time as a consideration for this ascent that Bitcoin made, if we measure from low to high, again, we look at this every week, is that the minimum time for this bear market is November 9th of 2026. If that's so, that means any low before that time is not the low of the bear market, right? Now, the thing to understand here is, and the biggest takeaway of this, I guess, would be deciding what your count is from the top down truly decides how high this retracement comes, right? And I'll show you those two things right now so that you can understand. If we put a retracement from high to low, get it as bang on as you can see that we've been having amazing reactions with the 0.236. That's even currently what Bitcoin's battling. If it can get over that 0.236, this golden pocket area is a strong magnet for price action, right? So if the most common area of interest here would be the 702 to 0.5 retracement as a kind of a broad golden pocket range, your spot investors who are making investments down here on the last dip are looking for 40%, if not 50% return on their investment, right? So your spot trader has a good reason to be a consumer of Bitcoin, especially when the risk for this scenario is very clear at its lows. So critical takeaway for this Bitcoin scenario is hard invalidation at the lows at 60,000. This would be the daily bullish scenario for Bitcoin, and you would be looking for a strong move to the upside that would get it around 87,000, maybe tickle the tip of 90,000, and then we would get another strong retracement to the downside. Yes? Does anybody have any questions over the daily scenarios on Bitcoin? And then we will keep dropping into lower time frames as we go through this. Yes? So let's just clear everything off the chart that we don't need. Get rid of this template here for a moment. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. And this is where you have to decide what you think was going on a higher time frame, so that when we drop into the lower time frames, guys, we have a bias here, right? If you guys are getting value from this stream, don't forget to smash up the like button. It really helps other people see the stream. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that so you don't miss the value in the future. All right, so the hardest part of this is going to be you understanding where the bears and the bulls are invalidated. Okay, so at these highs, if this is taken, those bearish scenarios that we talked about are invalid. Yes, the reason being is because we need this then to be the start of something to the downside. And in Elliott wave, you look for one of two things: a 5-wave motion, right? Or some sort of 1-2 stacking. So you could have 1-2 stacking, 3s into 4s, 3s into 4s into 5s, or you could have the standard 5-wave motion to the downside. This looks more like a 5-wave motion. You have chopping and grinding, you have a displacing section, and chopping and grinding. We can argue a couple different ways in which we believe that this count is broken down. But overall, I'm going to show you the ways that I'm looking at it and what I'm trying to see in conjunction with our larger time frames. If this is possibly an A, B, and going for a C wave down, this would be quite shocking for a lot of people who just got on that bear or that bullish train. And I want to show you how this scenario on a 4-hour time frame plays into your daily traders. So if your 4-hour time frame is this, and you were thinking, hey man, that could have been 5 waves in A, I'm waiting for B, and then a potential C later. In this scenario, a 5, 3, 5 to the downside, A, B, C, would be quite fast and zippy, and that would give that 786 retracement. We can also add to this the potential trend-based fib extensions from 0 to A to B, and we can see that we get confluence of 1 through 1.382 down there, right? So everybody's super bearish at this point, right? Everybody's looking for things to go to hell, but somehow, some way, you hold that zone at the 1 through 1.382, found around 65,000 to $62,561. Yes, that would be the 786 retracement confluence also. This would throw off a lot of people. So this, guys, is the range that you need to be watching so that you can understand bullish invalidation is here and the bearish invalidation is above, right? So our bulls, their diagonal is invalid here. And up here is your bearish invalidation, right? So it should be this easy, guys. Take a screenshot of the screen if you need it. If you have any questions over it, do ask and we'll move on. But overall, I am biased locally to more downside. Now, if we start to break upward strong, hit our bear invalidation, we're going to have to shift some counts around and see what else we could possibly have going on here. But other than that, that is everything that I have on Bitcoin, guys. Let's go ahead and move into Ethereum really quickly. Oh, I moved my stuff around. So on Ethereum, I think it's best because the lower time frames have not confirmed any sort of reversal yet, to stay on your weekly and daily 3-day larger time frame. And overall on Ethereum, I'm still looking for upside here and looking for continued moves up as long as invalidation holds for the bulls. That invalidation is $1,400, and we're looking for upside to around 5,300 to 66.97. If Ethereum can give it one more push up the stairs, amazing. The reason I side with this is because the move down looks quite corrective. I do not believe it's 1-2 stacking. It's chopping and grinding to the downside and really struggling. So overall, looking for continued motions to the upside on Ethereum. So let's go check the chats and see what you guys have going on. See who's all here, and then we will move into chart requests. If you guys have any chart requests, please do get them in the chat so that we can get that figured out also. All right. Let's see what we have here. What's up, Addy? What's up, B? What's up, Marco? How are you? Who else we got here today? All right. What's up, Nameless? How are you, buddy? What's up, Six? All right. Let's see what you guys got for charts, and then we'll go from there. So far, chart-wise, the only chart that I see, guys, is CLO coin. And that's from Marco. If you guys have any other coins, pop them in the chat and let me know. Oh, look, we got Doge from Marco. That chart is horrible, but I own some. I usually buy some Doge when I buy Bitcoin in a dip. The reason why is because usually Bitcoin's rallies are followed up by altcoins, one of them being Doge. So I'll show you that Doge chart here in just a second. Let me keep going through the chats to make sure I don't miss anything. What's up? Yeah, iced latte for the win. Thanks to my wife. All right, so let's keep going. Let's go look at CLO coin, and then we'll look at Doge. If you guys have any other coin requests, please get them in so that I can have them in their advance and don't get lost. We'll look at this on KuCoin. They typically know what they're doing, huh? Go back to log. This is a bad chart. This is not something that I would want to be trading. Let's go see if we can find a better chart. If the chart stays like this, I have really no interest. We'll look at MEXC also. Yes, I have no interest in this, sir. More than likely, this is not a high trading probability, especially with this long drawn-out correction sideways. You might get a little Bart Simpson action up, but nothing in this chart's a high probability play for me. So charts like this, I just throw them in the garbage and move on. All right, so let's go move on to our next chart request, guys. And that's going to be Doge for Marco also. So I'm going to show you why I bought Doge and what my hopes were for this. So overall, the Doge chart has a lot of overlapping price action. Nothing's superbly clear about it. The reason I'm using Coinbase right now is so that we can avoid a big wick that was here. But what I was buying for, and the only thing that matters, is that this portion of the chart looks quite corrective. Yes? So I was going to buy in this 1 through 1.382 boxes spot and go for a leg up. Now, when we look at the macro charts for Doge, you can see why this would be exciting, right? So you have this massive run up of a potential 5-wave move, and now you're making a grinding correction, right? There's a good chance that this continues towards the upside to take the liquidity, right? Both of these tops were made on bullish order flow. You can see those green candles. On my chart, they're blue. On this chart, On your chart, they're green, more than likely. But overall, you can see how this is a range or a correction. So in my opinion, yes, we could wait till much further down, right? You could be waiting until down here. But the reason I'm started my dollar cost average on Doge related to the Bitcoin chart, okay? All right, let's go see what else we have here. We have Chainlink. Sorry, my eyes are struggling. I think that my glasses prescription has gone bad. The old man has lost his glasses. Zcash for nameless, got it. You think Zcash has invalidated your account, sir? Let's go check. All right, so the next thing we had was Chainlink. I also bought this one spot. This was not the correct chart. I also bought this one spot. I bought right around $8. I'm going to continue to hold that spot. The reason why is the same theory on Link as what we just looked at on Doge. We're looking for a three-wave corrective move that came into the 1 through 1.382. Now, can this get much more scary in correction? Yes. That's why when I bought my smallest DCA at the one line. I'll look to buy again at $7, a little bit bigger. And my last buy for Link will sit at $6. And then I will dollar cost average out if we don't begin to look impulsive towards the upside, right? So this is spot accumulation based upon what you can see here as internal liquidity left behind and a golden pocket retracement on the table, right? So the reason I bought spot is because my first area of interest was the 1 through 1.382. I bought it right around $8. I didn't quite catch the bottom. But for me, average return on investment with this plan is 121%, right? So that's if we reversed from here. Now, price action itself on most charts is not looking impulsively reversal, like, right? So the reason I talk about this is because what really matters, let's delete everything off that chart, is price action reverses in three ways, yes? And the other, more rare form would be a leading diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So if these are the three ways that price action likes to reverse off of a low to show that we are about to see a trend reversal, right? Because trend would have been coming down into here, down into here, and down into here. Trend would be reversing in one of these three ways. The very first way is a standard 5-wave impulsive reversal. And the secondary way would be 1-2 stacking. And I'll show you that really quickly. And the third way would be a leading diagonal, right? The most rare way to see this built. And a leading diagonal can get very convoluted, right? So a leading diagonal can be made in 5s up or 3s up. So this can be the most rare and complicated pattern. So if these are the most common, do keep those in mind. And let's go continue to look at altcoins. But I'll show you really quickly on Chainlink just why I'm not super bullish on a lot of these things, right? Does this look like a diagonal or standard 1-2 stacking or an impulse to the upside? No, it looks corrective in nature for the most part. I would hate to label this as anything other than corrective to the upside. And that's a problem on a lot of these altcoins, and we'll see this as we continue to look on. All right, so let's go look at Zcash for nameless. I want to thank you guys all for coming to the stream today. If you could, in the chats, can you put a 1 if you're feeling bullish on Bitcoin and bullish on our price action? Smash a 1 into the chat there. If you're feeling bearish on Bitcoin and our price action recently, go ahead and put a 2 in the chat. And I would love to see what you guys' bias is. Yes? Let's see if I can run a poll here. Let's see if we get a quick answer. Let's see what we got. We'll pop that in the chats. It should be at the top of the chats for you. Bye, B. Hope you're doing well, friend. Addie said 1.5. Devin says 2. Bob Franklin's back in the house. What's up, my dude? Hope you're doing well. All right, let's keep going. So we'll move on into Zcash. I think that it's an imperative for you to understand the deceleration channel that Zcash is in. I am not bearish on Zcash yet. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but I'm still staying a bull on this one, okay? I think that it's not over for it yet. I'm not tossing in the towel just yet. I showed you why in the last stream, but we'll look at it one more time. While Zcash is holding these wave 4 retracement fibs and it's resetting the RSI, I've been being a spot consumer, right? Because I think that we are not only in my fib retracements, but we are also in my fib extensions for a possible correction. We've reset the RSI deeply into oversold on the daily, and that means a lower RSI than you made on price action while in an uptrend is hidden bull divergence. So in an uptrend, you have made a lower low on the RSI, but not on price action. That's a reset. The reason why that's important is because a lot of times it leads to one more high. So as a spot consumer on Zcash, this is what my plan is to do, was to buy 3 pieces of Zcash. 1, 2, and 3 if it's given to me, right? That'll be my last purchase. I will call invalidation for this at 91.50, and I will move on from there, right? So as a spot player, this isn't bad at all, right? This is what we're looking for. So now I will zoom in on the time frame, sir, nameless monster, to show you why I'm struggling to be bullish off the lows. All right, so let's get rid of this so that I can see what I'm doing better. So as we can see off the low, if we're only allowed to start this ascent in 3 different ways, one being an impulse, which is the most common, this does not look like an impulse, right? This looks like 1, 2, 3 wave move, right? I would even be curious to see, does it end on high volume? Do you see this high volume spike that you have with a 3 wave motion? This was an order that's pushed up with bullish order flow, and it's the end of a correction, ending on high volume, messing with the psychology of the traders, yarding them in so they get stuck, right? Locked in their positions. So again, we can see that it's not starting with an impulsive reversal. So it's really hard to say this is anything but a correction, right? So for now, my bias is that we do take this low one more time. And for now, I'm just going to continue to hold on to my spot, right? Like I think people are referencing in the chats could it be an ABC? It could very well be a 535. That's a good catch. Where does it stop? 1 through 1.382 extensions. 80% of the time, corrections are going to stop between the 1 through 1.382, right? So it's something to be aware of. Not a bullish reversal yet. On the macro, I'm still bullish for Zcash, but until it makes a low time frame reversal, Bob Franklin says, not much difference between $8 and $7 if we think it's going to 50. That's the truth, man. All right, let's see what else we got in the chat, guys. You guys are firing it off in the chat so well that I'm losing where I'm talking. All right, $8, baby. Tau, and if you have time, FET. Let's put Tau on the list. I really don't like it. We've talked about Tau a million times and why I think it's kind of shitty price action, but let's put it in there anyways. All right, Devin, got that down for you. Let's keep moving down the list. Someone says CRV. Let's write that down. All right. All right, let's keep going. The next thing that you guys wanted to cover after Zcash was Tau. This again is not my favorite coin. I'm not super into it. I think it has a lot of really scammy price action. Even this here's a good example. Excuse my click. Right? Big selling volume there. More than likely, when you see these type of things, this is a three-wave motion up. Right? You didn't get a wave 4 and you didn't get a wave 5. So overall, I would be hard pressed to call it an impulse. Another reason why is because you have overlap in price action here between a possible 1 and 4 that you could have tried to lie and count. So I would not get behind that idea. In Elliott wave, all your counts have to start off of the low. So the problem with that then is that we have 3 up, likely 3 to the side, and another 3 to the upside. Overall, I don't think it's a bullish chart, especially when you've seen stuff like this time and time again with these charts. Even this, you would have thought this was a 5-waver all day and that you should never take the lows of it. And then bang, new lows. So structurally, Tau is definitely not something that I want to be involved in. I really have no interest in it. I don't even think its macro chart can save it on this one. Let's go see. Yeah, even this is just shit. Look at this. It's just one big hideous range with no direction, nothing worth messing with. Even this here looks like another 3-wave motion. Right? Even if it's 3 or 5, it's crazy. It's just the chart is not, there's nothing here that gives you a high probability play. All right, so I would move on. I would leave that one behind. I would look at FET real quick. Let me know on your guys' end, is the stream grainy for you guys to see, or can you see it? Trying something new with the internet today, so let me know what you guys got. On FET, we have to understand where we were coming from to understand that where we're going. Yes, so on FET, again, let's start on the weekly. To me, this looks like nothing but a 3-wave motion towards the upside. It ends on high volume. Look how good it was here. It pushed it almost nearly to the peaks. Because of that, I have to say that anything that it does from here is likely just corrective, right? So what I would look for on FET then would be a potential of a WXY moving forwards. You are so low on this 786, 702 area, and you've only made what looks like an ABC to the upside more than likely. We'll zoom in on the lower time frames. We've been playing FET in the Discord, so we have that all mapped out. But you might very well be moving into a different count, right? So if you have 3 up and 3 down, that comes to a 90% retracement, you can take these highs, but the problem is anything to the upside, this will really throw people off, would be a 5-wave motion that would make new highs on FET, right? So with it being so low, I would be privy to waiting for that 90% retracement before I buy FET, and I'll zoom in and show you why. But overall, I think that you're waiting for, oopsie, clicked the wrong one. And I got WXY on my brain today. 3 up, 3 down with 1 more low likely, and then a C wave, right? Because you need a minimum 90% retracement there. Now let's zoom in really quickly. And we'll see on the daily what the major problem with FET is here. If this was 3 up and 3 down, that just nearly misses a 90% retracement, it looks like to my eyes. There is a strong possibility that this was just an ABC to the upside, right? So 3, 3, 5. Check the volume on it. Ends on what? A spike of high volume. Usually corrections or C waves up will end on a spike of high volume. So it's something to keep in mind, dudes. Could very, very well be what you got going on there. All right, so that is FET. Let's go look at CRV really quickly. You guys still got the stream on your end working for you? So CRV should just be stepping into what is your weekly accumulation zone. For spot traders, I've covered this in every single live stream. This is my investing plan for CRV that I'm using. I'm looking for 3 up, 3 down, just like we just talked about on FET. I've shown you exactly how I'm buying. First DCA has already been made. I'll look for a secondary DCA here at 1630. That's a little bit bigger than my first one. And then I'll look for my last and final DCA here in the 1.236 area. After that, I will hold out. And I know that this is hard invalidation for my trade, right? So moving forward, I'm a spot buyer on CRV because it will most likely make one more low. So if it does stop here, you would have an around 842% return on your investment. That is on logarithmic on the weekly, so do be realistic with yourself. Understand that on linear, the target will be a lot more accurate, but invalidation was not being able to push down to the 1.618, and minimum target would be to take the highs typically. That's an 8x return on your investment on CRV. So on CRV, I do think it's a spot trader's paradise, and I think that's what I would be looking for. What's up, Ted? You asked about XRP and FARTBOY. Are you still here, Ted, by chance? Let's go see what we got on XRP and FARTBOY if you're still here. And I hope everybody's enjoying the chat. On my end, it shows that I've lost all you guys. That's why I keep asking if anybody's here. For me, it's not showing anybody here at all watching the stream. It shows that I'm talking to myself. So I appreciate you guys if you are still here. All right, let's go ahead and move over into XRP. I'm going to show you 2 different situations on this. What I'm most concerned with is going to be seen here on the macro. What I'm most concerned with is that this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that this was the cycle high for XRP. After that, I would be looking for a 3-swing corrective motion. That might likely not be over yet. So far, XRP has done nothing to the upside that looks impulsive at all, right? And we'll go get into that on our Coinbase chart really quickly. I don't have anything on here because I never cover this coin. For me, I bought some spot. I sold out on October 10th. I want to show you that because I think it's quite funny where this market came from. Right on that day. I bought back right in here, about $1.20. So I was able to sell out of the market and get out of a 55% retracement and buy back 55% lower. So I got a 55% view or a 55% discount on my XRP bags when I bought back. Yes. Now I want to show you why I'm not bullish on XRP yet and why I struggle to get bullish here. So far in this range, we'll make it a little bit bigger so that we can see it together. We can see that it doesn't make any of our 3 reversal structures, right? Let's get rid of the volume. What do we have? 3 up, 3 down, 3 up. It could be over to the upside, right? This could roll over from here and make a completely new low, right? And then you have something that looks like this to finally finish the structure. So do understand that so far for XRP, it does look like it will likely make one more low. Now, let's live in hopium land for a minute here. Let's say that this guy to the upside in 3 gets a partner leg, right? And gets one more leg to the upside and 3 more. We look for a corrective extension of not 190 through 221, right? But as of right now, that's really, really hard to believe in, right? It doesn't look like it's making a reversal yet. And until XRP can strongly start to form what would be 5 wave structures to the upside that look like this, we have no reversal. So far, what do you have? 3 waves to the upside. And we'll cover it time and time again. It's not the bullish start to anything. All right, so let's move on from XRP and let's go cover FARTBOY. So far, we have not seen a reversal on FARTBOY. We are holding here just above the accumulation zone. I'm going to show you the micro chart for FARTBOY first, and then we'll move into the macro. On the micro, bulls are looking to uphold the accumulation zone for a strong expansion towards the upside if it can hold. Same theory is holding here. 3 waves to the upside is likely only the corrective start of something, right? 3 waves to the upside. Nothing about it was 5 waves in nature. So that way we can see what our targets would be to the upside on FARTBOY. If you lose the accumulation zone, we'll go show you now what that will look like for you. But if you lose the accumulation zone, I showed you in the recent YouTube video that I made exactly where price action would be going for temporary support and then final support. Yes, this temporary support comes in around the center line of the channel and ranges from 0.5789 down to 0.48. If temporary support is lost, we drop into the deeper target box, 0.2630 down to 0.1806. So it's that simple. But what is going to be hypercritical for traders at this point is to continue to watch Bitcoin, right? We have our validation and invalidation points for bullish and bearish scenarios. So let's be watching out for these going forward. If you guys have anything, do reach out. Again, thank you for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys over in the Discord. Have the best day.